I'm Hayley, a journalism graduate, your host for today's episode, and I'm joined here today by Nabia. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
So my name is Nabia. I graduated from BA Photography 2 years ago now. So in 2022, I graduated. And then since then, I've actually been working at UAL at like the front of house. And then I've done some student ambassador work at like open days, student recruitment. And then for my own practice, I've been trying to like build a platform for South Asian creatives. That's where I'm at right now, yeah.
Tell us more about your platform.
So I started the platform, it's called Zuban, which means tongue in like Urdu and like Hindi as well. So essentially it's for South Asian creatives to essentially just have a space where they can show their work and not have any pressure, because when I graduated I felt like none of the like platforms and stuff that was already out, it wasn't accessible, and it felt like it was a bit out of reach even as a graduate, and like there was so many like barriers and stuff to get to it. So I wanted to challenge that kind of in a way and be like, here's a platform where you just bring your work, bring yourself, and you don't have like the burden of representation, because I felt like during my degree I had to represent my culture all the time because a lot of my peers didn't know much about it. But here's more about yourself as an artist, and you don't have that responsibility to represent if you don't want it. So it really is just about artwork and just a safe space, the safe environment that encourages South Asians to share their work.
I really like that concept. I never thought about it from that perspective. So how did the LCC Accelerator help your program and business?
I did the LCC Accelerate program about a year after. I applied. I didn't even think I was going to get in, but I just applied anyway because I thought, I want this to like grow as much as possible, and I have this idea, and I feel like the incubator program was really good to help like build it up, push it forward. I was surrounded by other people who also were interested in like running their businesses, so everyone had that like business mindset, and that was something that was really valuable. So then I applied, and then it was like a 12-week program, and they would talk about like industry people would come in about like branding, business terms I had no idea about. They taught us all about that. And yeah, so the program was good in that sense for like the network, the information that we're taught and things like that.
Okay, so what is some advice for new creatives that you think they should learn when they want to start their business for themselves?
So coming from somewhere like UAL, you have a network that's really incredible. You don't realise it. Like so many of your peers probably know how to build logos if you don't know how to make a logo. Some of them know like coding and like website design if that's what you need to know. So utilise your network if you do want to start a business, and like don't be scared for it to fail, because a lot of people are like, if I try I'll fail. It most likely will fail in the first time, but you need to give it some time and give it a chance to like actually try it out and carry on going and be consistent. I think consistency is the biggest thing in order to like make your business work if that's what you want to do.
And what kind of advice would you give for maybe graduates who don't feel that comfortable putting themselves out there in networking situations?
Me personally, I don't even like networking. I think it's actually like the worst thing to do. I think it's so awful, but like you just have to push yourself. You just really have to try. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to remember you later. Like by tomorrow, they'll completely forget your interaction or whatever. So try, be calm, be yourself. Don't be afraid. Like there's nothing to really be afraid of. And like keep going. You have to keep going to networking. Like the first one's gonna feel like awful. I think the first networking event I went to, Layla, you were actually there, and it was like, oh my god, I just want to go home. I think I left early as well. I was like, I can't stay here, I don't want to be here. And as time went on, I ended up being like someone who stays till like the very, very end. So you have to practice, you have to keep going. It's a bit of a process, but you'll get there.
How important do you think networking is when building that creative professional field?
Significant. Like it's so important. Like I mean, a lot of people don't realize it. Like people that I met like when I was in my first year, I never thought I'd speak to them again. I spoke to them again years and years later. People come to me for like, I want my headshots done. I was like, oh my god, you remember me? Like you don't realize how the network can come back and like just come back in the future. So like I would say build it up, stay in touch with people, join all these like WhatsApp groups, Instagram groups, things like that. Stay involved as much as possible. And it's not even just good for like the career side of it, it's also good for like your own self, like your own well-being, to be like, other people, and you hear other people's experiences. It can be really reassuring to like hear like, this is not going well, or this is going really good. So it's that motivating and reassuring.
Can you give some examples of any WhatsApp groups that you're in and like started to get into?
There was like one for like UAL drinks, and I didn't even get the link. Someone just sent it to me and I'm in it, and okay, I'll be so real, it's on mute right now, but when I want to actually see the stuff, I will unmute it and I will actually like read it. And then like Instagram, like the whole state, like go follow LCC Instagram if you don't, because
little promo in
yeah,
there.
why don't you? Like, and like the graduate support, like you get a lot of graduate support after that as well. They host events. Go to them, read your newsletter. Like alumni get newsletter, so read it.
Can you talk about the importance of persistence and resilience? Because I know you were saying like to carry on and to keep going, but you know, obviously when you're in the moment, like the emotions are really hard and it can be daunting. So
it's a bit like, it's difficult. I'm not gonna say it's something easy. Something I really struggle with as a graduate. Like I saw some of my peers and they were like excelling straight away, and it made me like a bit nervous. And like even during my time at university, I always felt like, oh, am I meant to be here? Like am I? But now I have a degree and I'm actually a graduate. I have like kind of evidence to back it up. Like, no, you did a whole degree. Like you are, you know, you are your degree basically. So it's a bit like hard, yeah, to stay motivated and consistent. But just know it fluctuates. It's gonna go up and down. It's not always gonna be consistent. So there will be low moments. You just kind of have to push through and keep on going. Like I think the biggest thing I'll say is just please do not give up on your craft, no matter what situation you're in. Do not let it go off your art. It's very important, very significant thing I want to say.
And what challenge would you say did you face when you was being resilient, like that, like maybe made you feel like,
so like
I don't want to keep going?
So like when I graduated, I didn't realize that like the month after graduation is actually like really scary. Like if you don't have something lined up, it can be like really, because you have no deadlines all of a sudden, and like you're not going to the same place all the time. You're like, oh my god, what do I do next? That's when your network comes into play, because it's like, oh, there's an event I can go to, I'll go there, and like slowly build up from there. So I like to say get involved. If you're worried about graduating and not sure where you want to go next, just get involved in whatever's out there. Even if you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, just do it anyway and just see where it takes you and like who you might meet. Those kind of things are really important. I wish someone warned me. Like, I wish someone said to me, like, oh, by the way, if you don't have anything when you graduate, you're going to feel, like, horrible. So, like, try and do stuff. Be engaged as much as possible and push yourself.
Yeah, I guess there's that kind of sense of feeling of, you know, you feel like you're alone because you're so used to being in a community. And then, obviously, unless you have, like, a big family at home, then, it must be, like, a huge shock to also, like, to the, like, body system when you're not in a routine anymore.
Yeah.
Last question is, what was the most surprising thing to you as a new graduate? I guess we kind of answered that already.
I think, no, like, the most surprising thing was, it's just, like, the shock, like, everyone I used to see every day, I'm not going to see them every day anymore. Like, the community that you build, although it's not physically in front of you anymore, it's still there, but it just takes time to realise that it is still there, and that, like, at the end of the day, UL is so corny to say it's home. Like, it's, like, you know, LCC, like, it was home to me, so like that's why I didn't leave. That's why I still work here. But yeah, so like it's just, yeah, it's an experience for sure. But I think you need to take it one day at a time. That's the biggest thing. Like, take it slowly. Don't rush too far forward and be like, oh, I'm not where I want to be. You'll get there. Just take your time, all on your own timing.
Yeah. I mean, one thing, like, personal question I had for myself is, I guess, kind of friendships. What I've been hearing a lot is, you know, and I guess you could apply this to business-wise. Like, you might have friends and then you start a new business, or, like, your life is changing, right? Like, you're a graduate. And what's that kind of trajectory like?
So, like, for me personally, like, when it came to, like, my platform, for example, I immediately started with other, like, South Asian creatives that I personally know, and, like, that was a safe environment for me to start, and I know they would never, like, judge me in a way, or like they'd always give me constructive criticism. So that was like the first thing I thought, like, when I want to build my platform, who should I start with? You start with the people around you and like your immediate network, like your close friends, stuff like that. Use that to help you to build up. So yeah, that was just one thing that really stood out to me. I was like, oh, I need other, like, South Asian creatives to contribute to my platform. Where should I start? Oh yeah, my friends. I have friends that can contribute, and from there you realize they know someone and they know someone, and your whole network just expands. So just, yeah, it's a good way to, like, mix, like, friendship and business in a way where it's like, obviously don't exploit them, but, like, you know, try, like, really hard to, like, take in their opinion and use them for feedback, because obviously once you graduate you don't have crits anymore and stuff like that. Use them for feedback. So yeah,
they're, like, examining you, like, giving you marks.
Yeah, no, for real, yeah.
So what's the future looking like for you and your business?
So it's kind of hard to actually balance, like, a 9 to 5 and, like, my practice at the same time. So I'm trying to find my way through that at the moment, because I like getting paid, guys. I like my regular income. But at the same time, it's like, I want just people to contribute to the platform and just like reach out to some people. Like, it exists, it's on Instagram, so if you go on Instagram it will be there, but it's now getting to the point where the work is coming out and like the network grows. I've just been hesitant because I'm so nervous that like if it doesn't work out or whatnot, but I think I'm just waiting for the big jump, and then hopefully from there I'll be able to get it ready.
So do you want to say the Instagram or we'll put it
in
the
caption? Put it in the caption.
Okay. I mean, you can say it as well.
Okay.
This is you jumping off the cliff right now.
Okay, yeah. So it's like zuban.uk. So ZUBAAN.uk.
Okay, so you heard it here, guys. Thank you so much to our guest, Nabila. And thank you for listening to UAL Gradcast, real stories from UAL. We hope we managed to motivate you and for you to take your next steps or find comfort in the fact that you are not alone in this. Until next time, bye.
Bye, everyone.